Hi, good morning. Hi, I'm David Lee, and it's What's Cooking at Shell Point once again. Today's a little bit of a different show that I kind of cooked up. If you're like me, and maybe not like me, I thought honey was just honey. And I would usually just go and try to buy whatever honey was available at the store and cook with it. Well, I recently discovered from our honey lady here that honeys are really, really special and different. So today I thought we'd share with you some honey tasting. So with me today at the far end is my cooking buddy, Ruth. Mm-hmm. Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
And then Ann Wardlow is one of our neighbors who lives in Parkwood. And then our very special guest today is Corinne Batista. I call her the honey lady. You may recognize her because she's here every Friday. She takes her bee costumes off and comes in and sells us honey. So we're looking forward to learning from you today. Then we have Doug Heatherly, who lives in Royal Bonnet. Mm-hmm. And last but certainly not least is Kathy Battles. And Kathy's in Coquina. So thanks to my honey tasters to come. And so first of all, Corinne, welcome.
Thank you.
And I want to, you've taught me some interesting things about bees that I didn't know. And first of all, how many beehives? And you call them hives, right?
Yes, yes.
Because of the boxes,
Or
really.
colonies.
Colonies.
Hives, colonies.
How many do you have?
I have 13 right now.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yes, it's. I had 30 a year ago, but
30?
it's a lot of work.
Wow.
So I'm down
Yeah,
to 13, and it's I can breathe a lot easier.
Yeah, and they're not all in one place either, I
No.
learned, right?
They're scattered. Most of them are on Fort Myers Beach, but I have a couple in Iona area and one on Sanibel, one in Cape Coral, but they're all coastal Lee County.
Yeah. So now that's where you've taught me. That's the intriguing thing about why would you have them in different places? Because
They get a little different honeys, and it's just easier when the bees will rob another hive if there's nothing for them to work. So if you open a hive and there's nothing blooming, the other bees will smell it and come rob the colony out. Then it's not pretty.
Oh.
It's a big bee war, and you have to work real fast. So if you have one alone, you have all the time in the world.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's much easier.
Okay. Plus, scatter them around, they get to pollinate from different
yes.
plants,
I
right?
have several at my friends' places that are big gardeners, so they like to host the hives because they get the pollination for their gardens and their fruit trees and things.
Yeah,
like that.
I even saw you one day when I was walking around the island over by Ruth's apartment. You had the smoker out, and you were getting some
removals
bees.
here at Shell Point.
Yeah, because
I get them out of like the water meter boxes or wherever they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was pretty neat to see.
It's fun.
So-
I really enjoy doing that.
I
If
thought
it's
you were a
not-
Martian because you had this outfit on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a necessity.
And the other thing, if you would for a minute, the worker bees only live 5 weeks.
Yes, and
I had no idea.
Yes, they only live 5 weeks, and the first 3 weeks of their lives, they don't fly. They just do house chores.
3 weeks.
For 3 weeks, they're house bees, and then the last 2 weeks of their life, they're foragers, and they work till their wings are shredded, and then they die. That's why you have to have a good queen to always have replacement bees hatching out.
Having a good queen is a good thing, right?
It's a necessity.
You think so?
Yes.
See, Ruth, we learn things every day, don't we?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, okay. Well, tell us a little bit about we're going to sample 4 honeys today, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about each one of them.
Okay, well, first the buckwheat, which is very strong, is not my honey. I bought that a few years ago just to try it because I've heard a lot about it. It's from the Dakota areas of the United States. They plant buckwheat fields just for honey, and I think for forage for cattle and things. But
Okay.
this one here is the spring wildflower from last spring, and a wildflower is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. When you don't have a huge forest to produce a single floral crop, that's what we call wildflower. When you have
Okay.
mixed nectars.
That's
So-
what the cookies are made of. It's
Okay.
Wildflower honey. So
Oh,
you're going
okay.
to taste that.
So actually, wildflower, every bucket's just slightly different. You might have more palm in one and more. Every
So-
bug is slightly different. It has the same flavor, but it might be a little darker, a little lighter.
Okay.
Or something. Then we have the black mangrove, which is my favorite and my best seller from the mangroves that grow around the bays and the rivers.
And I must stop and comment to you. I must tell you all that Bev Chanley says that's her favorite. Bev's one of the regulars on TV here, and we all know
Okay.
Bev. So she said that's her favorite.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah.
I could just drink it. It's so good. And then the Brazilian pepper, which of course is a non-native invasive tree that is everywhere. And I get a honey crop from that. That blooms in September, so that's the fall honey. I harvest twice a year, spring honey and fall honey. So the Brazilian pepper is mostly fall. That's
Okay.
pretty much solely what blooms in September.
Okay. Well, why don't we get our tasters tasting here?
Okay.
Which one do you suggest they taste first?
Probably start with one of the milder one.
Okay.
Maybe the wildflower. I think it's the sweetest.
Okay. Why don't you all feel free to help
Yep.
help yourself?
Jump in.
We'll try the wildflower first. Huh? Take plenty now.
Very sweet, isn't it?
You know, Ruth, I thought when they're tasting them, I thought I want to let people know that this got me intrigued. I think in future shows we might try to figure out some ways to use the different ones in some cooking after we eat your cookies today. That is. What do we think? Anybody got any ideas?
I love the flavor of that.
It's very easy on the tongue. It's a nice, easy taste.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's similar to what I think I would get at maybe at the grocery store or something. It's kind of what I would expect of honey. I mean,
Okay.
sweet
I was
and-
thinking that too. It's pretty traditional taste and it's
Oh.
sweet.
Okay. Great. Well, I want you to feel free to put your sticks down. We want you to have a good tasting here. So which one should they try next?
Probably the least mildest would be the mangrove, the black mangrove.
Okay. Let's try Bev's black mangrove. Oh,
Okay.
I got to give you sticks.
I'm going to take a couple so you don't have to come back.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah, feel-
idea.
yeah. These remind me of being in the doctor's office.
Little tongue depressor.
Okay.
Okay,
next one is-
the black mangrove.
This one.
Is it different?
It is
It's
different.
different.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it better. But again, I still get a real traditional honey taste.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's different. But I almost taste like a molasses type taste to it. Is that
To me, I think it tastes buttery.
butter? Okay, maybe that's the right way to describe it.
I thought it had a sharper taste to it when I first put it on my tongue.
Well, and I know Bev thinks it's not as sweet. That's what she said to me. Fascinating.
Well, the next one I think would be the Brazilian pepper. The next one, to me, it is the least sweet of the honeys that I get from my bees. So let's see what you think.
Okay, Brazilian pepper, here we come. You got sticks? It's interesting to me how people's taste buds are a little bit different.
It is less sweet,
Oh,
a
okay,
little less sweet.
okay.
Definitely less sweet. It's just got a little bitter tinge.
Okay,
Yeah, I could taste just a hair of a bitterness to it, but it's not. I mean, still, it's very sweet, but it's not bitter, but it has that little edge to it.
yeah.
I think that's the most in my opinion, the most medicinal honey that we get locally from the bees here.
Yeah?
For like coughs and skin conditions and cuts and sores and burns and things like that. That's what I use Brazilian pepper.
Okay,
So-
and we saved the
best.
I was going to say the best to last. Well,
Yes. Okay.
buckwheat.
Buckwheat.
Tell,
This-
tell me again about buckwheat. I mean,
It's
that's
not
not
from
local.
this area. It's not from this area, and it's completely different. It's very, very strong.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what's got me intrigued. Because now when I go away, I'm going to buy some honey in different places. Because
I always do.
different honey will taste differently.
Yeah, I bought
So-
a bottle up north in Delaware one time, and it was lima bean. It came from a
Wow.
lima bean field. They had
Yeah.
the bees pollinating lima beans.
Well, and Kathy, you told me an interesting story too about being in North Carolina.
Yes, in October we went to North Carolina to get a little cool air and stopped at the Asheville Farmers Market, which is quite large, and they had a lot of honey suppliers there. But I was intrigued with this one man's honey. He had me taste it, and I bought some. It was blueberry honey. And honestly, I got a hint of blueberry every time I had that honey.
Well,
We
I
ate it quickly.
I want you to get me a jar of that. I want to try that.
Very
That'd be good on our waffles up here at the.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's try the buckwheat now.
I need a stick.
Oh, we need a stick. Anybody else need a stick? You got a stick.
Also, you can infuse honey.
Ooh, that's
Honey
smart.
can be infused with just about anything you think of. You can just let it sit for 3 or 4 months. It just can't be too moist. Like if you're gonna use a fruit or something, you should dry it out in the refrigerator first, and then you can, like I do, cinnamon, vanilla bean, hot peppers,
Okay. Yeah.
tangerine rind.
Well, what's the verdict?
Well, that's very strong, and I probably wouldn't be tempted to use it on my English muffins. But
Okay.
it's got a taste afterwards that isn't as bad as the initial. I shouldn't use the word bad, but strong.
It tastes better.
The aftertaste
After-
is not unpleasant.
Yeah.
I would liken it more to the molasses type taste. Is kind of the taste I got out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Anne, how,
Yeah, I agree with Doug. It reminded me of molasses more than honey.
okay. So this you might use more for cooking.
I tried it in a squash casserole, and I couldn't taste squash. All I could taste was the honey.
It's strong.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Okay, so maybe I wouldn't buy this if I saw it in the store then.
You know, as dark as it is, it's probably very medicinal. So, like I said, I couldn't figure out a good use for it, so it's went in my medicine cabinet for sore throats and things like that.
Well, there's our little tasting, and Ruth, I think
you're trying the cookies.
yeah, we have to try a cookie here.
Reward.
Yeah, for good behavior.
Your honey crunch.
Really good.
And just another FYI, I mean, you saw my bottle that I happened to buy from the local Costco, and you said
Yes.
it's, once again, I'm learning here, you said it's crystallizing,
Yes,
and you said that's a good thing.
it's a sign that it hasn't been pasteurized or overheated.
Yeah.
Yes. When you heat honey and pasteurize it, it will stay on the shelf without crystallizing for a couple years. So that's a good sign that it hasn't been destroyed by heat.
Okay. So now what should I do because of that crystallization?
You can use it like it is. It's fine.
Okay.
Or if you want to warm it up, I don't know if I'd warm it up in plastic. I would
Yeah,
probably
put it in a
just
bowl.
use it like that. Put
Okay.
it in a bowl, or you could put it in your coffee or your tea, warm tea,
Okay.
and it will just mix right in. You can use it in recipes.
Okay.
It's fine.
Any other thoughts or comments from my colleagues here today?
Delicious cookies.
Very nice.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you go to Ruth's house, you always eat. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it today. I hope this was informative to you. And once again, it's intrigued me to go up and buy some honey on Fridays and to try some different recipes. So look forward to upcoming shows, and I'll try to use honey in some of them in different kind of ways. So thanks for tuning in today, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.